All right, we are going to call to order this very exciting looking meeting. On Tuesday, April 16th, we will now do our roll call.
Student Trustee Deodar.
Here.
Student Trustee Garcia.
Here.
Trustee Rosenbaum is absent this evening. Trustee Khan.
Here.
Trustee Boyd.
Here.
Vice President Hopwood.
Yeah.
And President Davidson.
Here. Okay. We are going to read the AUSD mission and vision statement and meeting norms, please.
The mission of Albany Unified School District is to provide excellent public education that empowers all to achieve their fullest potential as productive citizens. AUSD is committed to creating comprehensive learning opportunities in a safe, supportive, and collaborative environment, addressing the individual needs of each student.
Meeting norms maintain a focus on what is best for our students, ensure a safe environment for all views to be expressed, treating each other, staff, and the public respectfully. Endeavor to find common solutions to issues through collaboration without sacrificing one's beliefs in what is best for students. Make a commitment to effective deliberation, each one listening with an open mind, while others are allowed to express their own points of view, even if one disagrees.
All right, we will now say the Pledge of Allegiance. Please join if you would like. All right, we had no action taken in our closed session this evening, and we are now looking for an approval or amendment of our agenda.
I will make a motion to amend our agenda to move superintendent and board member reports to be at the same time as item 11, student board member reports. And I believe we're already doing the spotlight ahead, so that's it.
Second.
Okay, all in favor of approving the agenda with the one change of moving superintendent and board member reports after student board member reports?
Aye.
Aye. Okay, we will do that instead. And we will now have our spotlight. We heard a little noise out here and we were like, walked out. It was so exciting.
Come on up. Everybody. They don't want to hear from me.
You don't have to duck. It's okay. You guys can all stand up. It's fine. We'll read it. We'll read it on your foreheads. It's fine.
Good evening, President Davidson, Vice President Hopwood, trustees, Ms. Kim, students. So last year we talked about all the extracurricular activities that we offer our students at Albany Middle School, and I thought this would be a great time to share all of the wonderful leadership opportunities that we have at the school and our amazing students who are on our leadership groups, and along with all the advisors who spend countless hours, time, and energy helping these students in their leadership programs. So I'm going to have the students are going to announce themselves, but I'm going to first, I just want to mention Miss Ueda and Miss Nolan are our ASB advisors. Teacher Fisher is our Safe School Ambassadors and Peer Circle Up advisor. And then for our Where Everyone Belongs, our web program, that is our entire counseling team. So that is Miss Lorix, that is Miss Hudson, and that is Miss Britton. So they are here today to support. So we're going to get it started. I'm going to let ASB student leadership come on up and present what they do on a daily basis.
Hi, my name is Catherine, and I'm a senator on the ASB.
Hi, I'm Zoe, and I'm the president of ASB.
Hi, my name is Aiko. I'm a senator on ASB.
Hi, my name is Coco, and I'm a senator on ASB.
Hi, my name is Katie, and I'm the vice president of ASB.
Hello, my name is Che, and I'm also a senator of ASB.
Hi, my name is Nyasa. I'm also a senator on ASB.
Today, I'll be introducing to y'all what we do as the Executive Council of ASB. So, as the Executive Council, we plan many spirit days, which will later be talked about throughout this slide. We meet weekly at 7:30 in the morning on Wednesdays. We also host monthly student council meetings. We plan dances, 1 per quarter. We've done 3 so far. We also have donation drives that we do throughout the year. We had a toy drive and a canned food drive this year. There are 11 total members on the Executive Council. So you might wonder, what is the difference between the Executive ASB and the Student Council and Advisory Representatives? So the Student Council and Advisory Representatives, they attend monthly meetings led by our Executive ASB, and they receive announcements, report announcements to advisory classes, give suggestions, assist in making posters, and volunteer to help during lunch to sell dance tickets. There are 60 members of the Student Council Advisory Reps.
ASB Executive and Student Councils. Executive Council is at the first dance of this year, and this is poster making at the Student Council meetings with all the reps.
We've done many spirit days, and one of them is the Twin Day, where some teachers also participated, and friends would wear matching outfits. Another spirit day we did was in honor of the Latinx Heritage Month, where students showed school spirit by wearing the jersey of their favorite Latinx players.
And then for the Spirit Day for Filipino History Month, we did traditional art in our Filipino Heritage Month. Students got temporary tattoos during lunch. For Black History Month, we did a film festival and HBCU advisory lessons. We had a playlist month of lunchtime viewings of films. Black History Month film festival audience we have a picture of. ASB shared this great book as a read aloud in advisory classes to teach students about HBCUs and colleges.
So far we've done 2 donation drives. One is a new drive that we just started this year, and it's called the Toy Drive. We collect packaged toys and donate them to the fire department. We actually donated them to the Albany Fire Department this year for their Christmas toy drive. And yearly we do a canned food drive, and we collect canned foods to donate to the local food bank. It's also a competition for all the classes, and this year for the canned food drive, we spice things up by adding competition. Each grade competes to see which advisory class brings the most cans, and the winning classes get a donut party, so it's like kind of like competition, and everyone kind of wants that party. Any class that collects over 100 cans get a small treat too. In total, we filled over 3 barrels filled with cans. And yeah, this is a community service project with the cans. It's a can drive. Thanks to everyone who donated.
So at AMS, we host a lot of dances, and the first dance of this year was the Fall Ball. It was mainly Halloween themed, and it was at the end of our first quarter, and this dance was only for our 7th and 8th graders. Our second dance, our Let It Glow dance, we actually got that name suggestion from our very own advisory reps and student council. It was our winter dance, and it was at the end of the second quarter. It was the first dance inside of the gym of the year. We used a lot of black lights and glow sticks, as the name says, let it glow. We used a lot of different face paints that glowed under the neon lights. And our third dance was the Flower Power dance, which was our spring dance. And we just hosted it at the end of our third quarter. And we let students in on making our decorations, and we made a lot of paper flowers that we hung up inside the gym.
And there was a special performance by the dance club. We invited them to share what they've been working so hard on.
Before the dance, we hold a meeting with the student council to pick a theme, and they also have a lot of really good ideas. They help us by selling tickets at lunch and advertising to all the advisory classes. And we will also help out the spring soiree. Before dances, we usually help set up, and after dances, we help put away all the materials that we used, like lights. During the dance, we also have a really good concession team who sell cookies, pizza, and bottled water. Our future dance and our last dance is actually planned by the next year's executive ASB, which is going to be, the elections are going to be held next week.
So the first photo in this photo is the fall ball, and there was a lot of lights, Halloween decorations. It was outdoors, so it was a little bit different, but everyone seemed to really enjoy it. Our next dance was the Let It Glow dance, and we had a phone flash mob. I'm not exactly sure what to call it, but basically when we turned off all the lights and everyone took their phone flashlights out, and it kind of created this cool ambiance in the gym, and it was all very festive. Yeah.
And these next two pictures on the sides are our ASB team selling tickets at lunch and planning for the dance before it started. And the very bottom picture is our dance club. There's actually there's 3 of them. And at our last dance, they performed a really great performance that they choreographed by themselves. Oh, one last thing. Our ASB teams, we just help plan and set up, and we help with a lot of fun events throughout the school, like spirit days, dances.
Yeah, and our goal is just to make AMS a welcoming place for all the new incoming students and just a fun experience for all the middle schoolers. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Omer. I'm a web leader. So first I'm going to introduce what web is. Web is a robust student-led orientation program for our incoming 6th graders. The web leaders, 8th graders, receive extensive training, allowing them to help our 6th graders feel welcomed and supported. Web is a fun, positive, and all about building connections. Web leaders have a big role in creating the school culture for our 6th graders. This role continues throughout the school year when they will provide support and build their relationships with the new 6th graders.
Okay, so hello, I'm Che. I'm also one of the web leaders. We have several events throughout the school year. The first we have is Spring Play Day with web leaders. It's fun activities, and then we have 2 days of web training during the summer in 2 weeks before school starts. And then we have web orientation, where this is the first experience some of the 6th graders get with coming to our middle school, where they're all welcomed inside the gym. They're split into groups with 2 web leaders per group, where they go into a room and we do group building activities to build connections so everyone can make friends. And then our next activity we have is an ice cream social on the fields with web leaders and the 6th graders on the field and their web groups to help build communities. And then we have our 6th grade Halloween festival, where web leaders help plan, organize, and entertain, I guess, in the incoming 6th graders for Halloween. And then our last event is next year's web leaders recruitment training and presentation.
Hello everyone, I'm Nyasa Kare, an 8th grader and web leader. As a web leader, I cherish many memories, some of them being training before the summer and events like the ice cream social that we had, the Halloween festival, and also the school tour that we held for our 6th graders. Just getting to know our 6th graders in every single meeting, forming a bond with them, it was just so special for me. And then, having their backs, being there for them as they transition into middle school, it was one of the most important highlights of my school year. It really helped build my confidence and also just improve on my communication skills and community involvement in general. And I would highly recommend it for the incoming 8th graders.
I'm Sally. I'm an 8th grader and web leader as well. Web has had a great impact on both my life and the 6th graders, I think. But we have very small groups of 2 combined 8th graders and a couple 10 usually 6th graders. And by having smaller groups, we're able to just build such personal connections with the 6th graders and really get to know them. We know everybody's names, and we do a lot of group building activities at the beginning of the year. And just by having little events where we get to know them better and they get to make friends, it just makes their transition to middle school just so much better. And it just I don't know, it would have been really great for us to have when I was in 6th grade. And I'm glad I get to share that with other 6th graders.
So my highlights for web was being in a small group and always seeing my web kids around the school and always seeing them greet me with a smile and just building close bonds with the 6th graders and having confidence that when we leave, they'll be able to take over when they become the 8th graders and hopefully carry on web.
Just to round it up, I agree with everything all the previous web leaders said. And to add on, I think just like Sally said, as a 6th grader, I would have really appreciated a group like web where you met 8th graders and you mingled with people outside of your grades and you got a tour of the school and you saw a lot of cool things about the middle school that I didn't find out till I was in 8th grade. I think it really helped me build my confidence working with people who I didn't know. And I think it was overall really important because in 6th grade, you're entering a point in your life where you have to make friends with people that you might not want to make friends with or that you've never talked to before. And it's a really scary part. And having people guide you who have gone through all 3 years of middle school, I think is super important. Thank you.
How the games made people interact with each other today.
Sorry, give me 1 minute.
Our internet seems to give us trouble with the sound at every meeting, so we really appreciate all of you that have spoken so far. Can I just ask a quick web question while we're doing this? Do you guys think, so in our last meeting, I think it was, we actually asked about tours for AHS students, incoming freshmen by older students, and there was a lot of discussion that maybe people didn't know where some things were at the school, like a counseling office or some really awesome spaces. Do you guys think you would continue and do this again at AHS or help carry this program over?
I think that this program has really helped me see how important it is to have people who are older than you guide you throughout school. And being somebody going into the 9th grade, I feel very nervous about high school, but I know that I'll have someone like my older sister to be able to show me. So knowing that I could be someone like that to help other people, I think is really important.
In general, we've been warned about the fears that we would experience throughout high school. I feel like the transition could really be eased if we had older students that could guide us, people who have gone through this experience already that could share some important, valuable feedback. I think that is something very important. It could really benefit our community at high school.
We will happily pass that along and hope that that can be. Hey, high schoolers.
I'm almost there. I lost it. No, I'm almost there.
In case the video doesn't,
Here we go.
for whatever reason,
I got
it's
it.
just some, oh, you do?
I got it now.
Perfect.
Yep.
It's just some 6th graders talking from their perspective.
Sorry, 1 second. I'm almost there.
different games for everyone to play, and how like the games made people interact with each other. Because I know like everyone was kind of shy at first and didn't know what to do.
I liked how comfortable they made us feel. Like they didn't make us feel like we were like outcasts and that we were different because we were.
So also about the web leaders and like this orientation, I thought it was cool how like they had different games for everyone to play, and how like the games made people interact with each other. Because I know like everyone was kind of shy at first and didn't know what to do.
I liked how comfortable they made us feel. Like they didn't make us feel like we were like outcasts and that we were different because we were younger, and they like kind of just took us in, and that was really nice.
I think web leaders are very helpful, and I hope that they're here next year for the next 6th graders.
Okay. Hello, I'm Trey. I'm also part of Safe School Ambassadors. The Safe School Ambassadors is another one of our school programs. Evidence-based social emotional SEL long-term prevention program focused on improving school climate safety by changing social norms. It's for also building a sense of unity. It's for grades 6th to 8th, so the entirety of our middle school. We have family meetings, which is with 1 adult facilitator and 10 students. We work as a family group. We have social power within our circle of peers, but are not bullies, opinion leaders. We try to speak our minds, even if our ideas are not popular, verbal skills. We also have a strong sense of social justice and watch out for our friends, concern for others. Myself, we are all together and represent the diverse group on our campus, and there are 60 SSA leaders.
Hi, my name is Sam. SSA helps identity forms of mistreatment, exclusion. How do you see students get ignored or left out? Picking groups in classes, not inviting them to parties/events, not talking when they're around. Put downs, rumors about people who likes who. What happens when someone messes up in sports or class? Intimidation, threats to leave friendships, tell a secret or do harm. Unwanted physical contact, sexual harassment, physical handing on someone, hugging, violating personal space, stealing things. Acts against campus, weapons, vaping, drugs, graffiti, and vandalism. This is also me. SSA ambassador actions look like balancing. Put up or put down. Say something positive to do the target or the group that was put down. Supporting, listening, or being with the target. Reasoning, help a person think about their choices or the consequences of their actions. Distracting, interrupting or drawing attention away from changing the subject and or separating from others. Getting help, communicating with adults you trust to help you handle the situations that are more complicated.
One major thing that our Safe School Ambassadors do is Unity Week. It's a week of activities and lessons that promote unity and kindness. It's also an AMS tradition that celebrates our diversity. SSA leads all lunchtime activities. We also have several smaller things like 2 contests, a t-shirt and a Super Friend contest. We have Spirit Days all week, lunchtime activities, and raffles and prizes, which is just new this year. And classroom lessons in ELA, math, science, and history about diversity.
The Unity Week schedule for this year, on Monday, the Spirit Day was Everyone Counts, where everybody tries to wear numbers. And And then the activity was music at lunch in the courtyard. On Tuesday, the Spirit Day was We're All Tied Together, which is where we wear ties. And then the activity was cooperative games at lunch on the Cougar Field. The cooperative games was personally my favorite because I just got to hang out with my friends and play games during lunch. On Wednesday, the Spirit Day was Rainbow Challenge, where you wear rainbows in lots of colors. The activity was compliment battles at lunch in the gym. On Thursday, the Spirit Day was Put a Lid on Bullying, wear a hat. And then the activity was creative chalk in the courtyard at lunch. And then on Friday, the Spirit Day was Cobra Unity, where you wear like Cobra gear, which could be like custom stuff you ordered, or it could just be like PE clothes that you change into, yeah. And then the activity was collaborative dance and a raffle at lunch in the courtyard, which is one of the ones that I helped put together and lead.
Here we have some pictures highlighting things we did during Unity Week. As you can see, we have our games on the field, our compliment battles, and also chalk in the courtyard. And then that last photo in the corner there is our award ceremony we had for some of our SSA leaders who stood out when leading our games and weekly activities for Unity Week. Oh, your circle up.
I'm back. My favorite part about SSA probably is that every meeting that I get to see my family members, and there's this guy in my family member who I wasn't really friends with in the beginning of the program, and then now we're best friends. So that's probably my favorite part.
I'm also back.
We want to hear.
I'm confused. Oh, okay, so for SSA, I also meet with a family group, and I was at first hesitant during the meeting just to open up to some of the people, but through a lot of the activities, I was able to build connections with people I thought I wanted to build connections with, which was nice, and we meet now pretty often, which is nice to have people I can be around.
What is Peer Circle Up? Peer Circle Up is a peer-led restorative justice program where students will help facilitate community building circles and advisory classes throughout the year. The circle process is the backbone of restorative practices and the first step in helping incorporate many of the restorative values that we think can help students feel more connected and safer at school. Students go through training that will cover circled processes, the principles of restorative practices, and give students an opportunity to practice facilitating a circle. We have 40 Peer Circle Up leaders in total. And the process for selection is teacher recommendation, interviews, or invitation to join.
Hi everyone, I'm back and I'm a member of Pure RJ. Now here I'd like to invite you all to honoring a few norms that we respect here at Pure RJ. I'd like everyone in the audience to stand up when I ask you to and perform the actions that I'll be demonstrating. Now these movements are fairly simple, but they'll help us all build a community spirit together here. So let's all stand up and begin. Okay, deep breath in, deep breath out. So our first norm is respecting the talking piece. Only the one person holding the talking piece may speak, while the others listen attentively. Similarly, our second norm is speaking from the heart. Say what you mean and mean what you say. Our third norm is listen from the heart. We should all listen to our classmates and reflect on what they say. Fourth norm is to step up and then step back. If you notice that you're speaking more than your classmates, step back and allow others to speak. But if you notice that you aren't speaking enough and would like to share your thoughts, step up and voice your opinions. Our fifth norm is the right to pass. Although we'd always recommend to voice your opinions, it's not necessary to do so, and if you would like to, you don't have to. Our sixth norm is to honor privacy. This allows everyone in the room to feel safe. So honor privacy. And our last norm is once in a circle, stay in a circle. Not only do we believe that we should physically remain in a circle, we should also be emotionally connected in a circle.
My name is Jada, and this is our circle agenda. First thing we start with is opening. Hosts introduce themselves and an inspirational quote.
My name is Coke, and I'm also part of PRRJ. But for our opening quote, we normally introduce ourselves, we say our name or pronouns, and we normally have like an inspiring quote to get people to just think and feel and really just be a part of the community in the circle.
Hi, I'm Omer. I'm also part of PRJ. Our second one is agreements. Set agreements and boundaries as well as circle expectations. This helps our circle run really smooth when everyone knows what the rules and boundaries of every person are.
Third is we do check-in, a prompt or question about daily life that everyone has a choice to respond to.
Normally these questions are sometimes about daily life, but we really just try and get people to be comfortable with speaking about things that they don't have to think about. You're just like, oh, this stresses me out, homework. And it just lets people talk openly without really having to be stressed out about thinking about one thing or another.
The fourth one is an activity, a short game to develop community amongst peers in classrooms. Although speaking is just as important, we believe that it should always be a thing to play a game and open up and have fun with your friends.
5 is values. Opens up social circle of community in both school and outside of school.
This really, again, just brings together community among peers in classrooms and really just helps, I guess, open up your social bubble to other people.
Our sixth one is purpose. We talk about our check-ins and some tools we can use to help social and stressful situations. This helps students receive feedbacks from sometimes older students and sometimes students in their own grades.
7, checkout. Another prompt or question to close with sharing ideas and or thoughts.
Checkout is just like our check-in, except it's another way to let students have a chance to talk about just things in life, really, they want to share with their peers.
Lastly, we have our closing, a symbol or small gesture to close the circle. This really just helps give every student closure and end the circle in a nice way.
I would also like to add that I feel like peer RJ is something that really gets to know people in your classroom, especially for the leaders that do it. They go into different classrooms of people they already know or don't know, and it also gives them the chance to get to know the peers that are around them almost every day, and that will be around them even more maybe in high school.
Hi, it's me again. So these photos are photos of our trainings and circles that we've led. So during our trainings, we did the same thing that we did inside of classrooms, which I think was really helpful. I'm going to talk a little bit about what Peer Circle Up meant to me and what I think it did to our school. I think Peer Circle Up really opened me up to a bunch of different people that I probably wouldn't have met. I met a lot of my friends who are 7th graders and 6th graders that I would never have met a different way. And I get to interact with many kinds of students who I probably, again, wouldn't have made the choice to interact with. It really benefits for our school because it helps other people engage with each other and expand social horizons, and it just helps build a bond within classrooms that is really important.
Hi, my name is Liv, and I'm in 8th grade, and I want to share some of my experiences and what Peer Circle Up really meant to me. It meant a lot, and I feel like I did benefit from the meetings and trainings in many ways, from engaging with new people to help bring together larger classrooms. Being a part of this group meant a lot. because I got to know so many new people from all grades, and I loved leading the circles to watch the kids engage with one another and the leaders. Not only did I get to connect with kids from other grades, I also got to know kids in my grades as well from working with them. This club was an amazing experience, and I hope that I get to do more work similar to this in the near future. Thank you.
They did all of this on their own, by the way. I only did the first slide. So students, thank you, thank you, thank you. Advisors, thank you for guiding them along this journey. And I think we're in good hands moving forward.
I just want to say, I feel like throughout this school year, a lot more things have been opened up for leadership, not just for 8th graders, but also 7th graders and 6th graders. I feel like these clubs and like communities that have been growing and growing show more that like 6th graders can become leaders as they go on to 7th graders, and from there they can become leaders on to 8th graders. And over the years, like when they can build up that confidence with a good community, they can become better leaders over the years, and so on.
Students, we just want to say that we were watching, and I think everyone had the same thought. Okay, so we'll have really competitive student board member elections in a couple years here, because we're looking at all of you to keep your eye on that. We want you to join us up here and continue in these other leadership capacities. This is amazing. Amazing. I really appreciate everything that you all put into this and sharing it with us. We have no idea the sort of day-to-day and what happens, and it makes me feel really comfortable that, you know, our little tiny TK and kindergarten students have so much to grow and look forward to as they go into what in many schools and districts is the hardest time of your life in middle school, but it looks like this might be the most fun time. So really, thank you. Do any other board members want to jump in?
Just really quickly wanted to say that I've always appreciated the transition into 6th grade has been well handled at the middle school, but this is a whole other level. It's amazing. Thank you so much. And just the number of you who are doing more than one committee or, you know, role within the middle school. It's so impressive, and it almost makes me want to go and redo middle school. Almost, yeah.
Hold on. Wait. Hey, kiddo, sorry, friends, come back. You're not done yet. We don't let you off that easy.
I just wanted to, I'm blown away, not just, at the fact that there's so many programs that, those were not there when I was in middle school, some of them, but not all of them, and I've seen, they have developed so much since I was there, and it's incredible to see how, it's in your very, very capable hands, and I'm just so, I don't even know if I can say I'm impressed, because, based on who you are, I guess it's to be expected. I don't know, just keep up the good work and keep going when you're in high school. There's so many other things that are gonna open up as you get older, and just don't lose that spark. This is something really, really special that you have going on, and I'm just thank you so much for dedicating so much of your time to this.
Wait, one more. So pretty much everything that Yaneli just said, there's a lot of groups there that weren't there when I was in middle school, and I'm excited to see a lot of you guys next year, because I'm still a junior, so I'll see you guys in the hall. I'll be a senior, and maybe one day you guys can take the position up here on the board. And also, I had a small question for the SSA. Could one of you explain to me what the T-shirt and Super Friend contest is?
So the Super Friend, okay, so first our T-shirt contest is, we have a theme of unity, and students from across the school are allowed to participate to try and draw a design to put for us to put on our Unity Week t-shirts. They can be won through raffles, and the people who actually win, who actually have their designs win, actually also get a copy of their shirt. And then the Super Friend essay is a special essay we do yearly about, one student writes about one of their friends that is special to them, and motivates them, and it's a Super Friend essay. And the winner of that also gets one of the Unity Week shirts and then a Barnes & Noble gift card.
Thank you.
President Davidson, we have a hand raised in the... No, okay. I just wanted to let you know.
All right. To our virtual audience, we're not going to do public comment on that one, but we encourage you to email the principal and get it over to them then. We are going to move on. We have 3 resolutions this evening. Our first resolution, who's presenting each of these? Your mental health, and then... Okay, I might ask that we go back to something we put into practice a long while ago, and that we don't read the entire proclamation. We just kind of present it and give the background. Is everyone comfortable with that? Ayush and Uneli, if you want to do that, that's fine. I can just ask these guys, but it is all in our agenda. All right, we will now present our resolution proclaiming May as Mental Health Awareness Month.
Resolution number 2023-24-17, proclaiming May as Mental Health Awareness Month. Whereas, although most of us have been able to return to our pre-pandemic lives for some time now, our community's families were deeply affected by the pandemic, with high levels of stress driven by the fear and uncertainty caused by illness, isolation, and job and healthcare loss at rates never before seen. And whereas the trauma of the pandemic layered upon concerns about, among other things, food and housing insecurity, gun violence, climate change, political polarization, racism, transphobia, bigotry of all kinds, deportation, and armed conflict and human rights violations around the world. And whereas children and families continue to deal with the impact of the isolation and halted academic, social, and emotional growth and development that occurred as a result of the pandemic, in addition to long overdue societal reckoning with police violence against Black people, a spike in anti-Asian and anti-Semitic hate crimes, and significantly higher than average death rates linked to COVID-19 amongst Latino/Latinx, Black, and Native American communities. And whereas the Center for Disease Control and Prevention reported that more than 20% of youth have a diagnosed mental health disorder in the United States, and the National Institute of Mental Health reported that an estimated 49.5% of U.S. adolescents aged 13 to 18 has experienced a mental health disorder of some kind at some point. And whereas the average age of early signs of mental illness is 14 when most students are entering high school. And whereas the U.S. Department of Education reported that only 40% of students with emotional, behavioral, and mental health disorders graduate from high school compared to the national average of 76%. And whereas the CDC declared suicide to be the second leading cause of death amongst youth ages 15 to 19 years old, and reported that suicide rates among persons aged 10 to 24 years old increased by 36.6% during 2018 to 2021 among Black persons, with suicide rates for Black youth in California doubling from 2014 to 2020, as reported by the California Department of Public Health. And whereas the number of children aged 6 to 12 who visited children's hospitals for suicidal thoughts or self-harm more than doubled since 2016, according to the Children's Hospital Association. And whereas researchers from the University of Montreal found that students with untreated mental illnesses are more likely to be chronically absent, more disruptive in class, have lower academic achievement, and ultimately drop out. And whereas the University of Maryland's Center for School Mental Health has found that educating staff, students, and parents in the signs and symptoms of mental illness is key to both early intervention and dismantling the stigma surrounding health. And whereas the CSMH reported that students are more likely to follow through with mental health services in school settings, and bringing mental health services onto campus enables easier communication among providers, parents, and teachers. And whereas schools that implement comprehensive mental health systems see improved academic performance, fewer special education placements, decreased disciplinary actions, and higher graduation rates. And whereas the spreading awareness of the importance of mental health can help people realize the many ways in which mental illness impacts them and those around them, and can provide the opportunity to learn about available sources. Therefore, be it resolved that the Albany Unified School District Board of Education proclaims the month of May as Mental Health Awareness Month and encourages all district schools to take actions that spread awareness, counteract stigma, and support students and families struggling with mental health issues.
All right, so we are on these resolutions. I think we're gonna roll call them real quick. We was made aware that I think that's what we have to do for resolutions, I think. So we're gonna do that for this one real quick.
Student Trustee Deodar,
Yes.
Student Trustee Garcia,
Yes.
Trustee Khan,
Yes.
Trustee Boyd,
Yes.
Vice President Hopwood,
Yes.
President Davidson.
Yes.
Thank you.
Okay, we will now move on, and we're gonna just look at the backup for our resolution proclaiming May as Jewish American Heritage Month.
The purpose of this item is for the Board of Trustees to recognize and adopt Resolution Number 2023-24-18, proclaiming May as Jewish American Heritage Month. For far too long, the history and achievements of people of color and other marginalized people in the United States have been disregarded in school textbooks, the media, and society as a whole. While the federal government today provides monthly recognitions as a first step in addressing this issue, it is crucial that students and staff take this opportunity to reflect on a deeper meaning of historical and cultural perspectives. Diversity is an integral part of the fabric of the United States, and these resolutions provide a way to honor and respect the richness of the diverse cultures of this country and our school district. Moreover, it is essential that distinct and accurate perspectives be preserved and heard. Jewish American Heritage Month in May celebrates the heritage, culture, and contributions of Jewish Americans in the United States. The Albany Unified School District Board of Trustees aspires that this recognition series will spur meaningful actions throughout the district for better present day and keep AUSD on the path for a more equitable future.
And we'll encourage everybody to review these in our agenda packet that is online, and they'll be available there, and we will roll call this one.
Student Trustee Deodar,
Yes.
Student Trustee Garcia,
Yes.
Trustee Khan,
Yes.
Trustee Boyd,
Yes.
Vice President Hopwood, President Davidson.
Yes. Okay, we will now move on to our resolution proclaiming May as Asian American and Pacific Islander Heritage Month.
I'll take that one, and I feel like I don't need to read the background since it's very similar. I will just say, again, if you get a chance, please read the resolution online. But like the significance of the other two resolutions, I think in general, the purpose of these resolutions is to highlight the various contributions of our community, but also to recognize that many of our contributions have gone ignored for a very long time. And I just want to give a special shout out to all of our teachers, our librarians, and the folks that actually make sure that these resolutions aren't just something on paper, and they make sure that our students have access to books, to lesson plans, to all of this information, music, arts, et cetera, that are honoring our various diverse communities. And every time I go into the library, I literally see our librarians put up new books and different information. It's really amazing to see how much our students are having access to books and other content that they didn't have when we were growing up, and it's just amazing to see how much effort y'all put into that, so thank you for making that happen. That's all.
All right, we will now roll call this resolution.
Student Trustee Garcia,
Yes.
sorry. Student Trustee Deodar,
Yes.
Trustee Khan,
Yes.
Trustee Boyd,
Yes.
Vice President Hopwood?
Yes.
President Davidson?
Yes.
Thanks.
I remember during COVID times, we would mix up the voting order all the time because we didn't want to make someone go in the same position. Oh, remember on those really hard issues? Yeah. So maybe we can go back to that. You just pick your order and we'll do it. We'll follow along. Okay, we are now going to have our student board member reports.
So for the Student Advocacy Committee, last night we had a meeting to look over our student engagement survey that we presented to you the last time. And we've made some adjustments based on the feedback that you gave us and just also other things that we're wanting to look into this time. We're going to be sending that out sooner and put an emphasis for teachers to make class time so we can have a better scope and sample size.
At Albany High, there's a community college fair tomorrow at lunch in front of the school and in the atrium. And several community colleges will be there. And Berkeley City College will be at the Little Theater on April 24th presenting about concurrent enrollment. And this is for 9th to 11th graders. It will also be during lunch. Contra Costa College will be at the high school on April 30th. The location is still not confirmed, and it'll be for current seniors looking to enroll in the fall 2024 semester. The counseling office is also hosting 3 info sessions for 11th graders and their families. This Wednesday is at 7 p.m. is financial aid night. Learn how to pay for college and what you need to be thinking about now. Zoom link was emailed to students and families. The Feminist Club is holding a menstrual supply drive in the atrium until this Friday to support those in need without access to them. Accepted items are pads, tampons, sanitary wipes, and incontinence briefs. Please drop them in the bin at the atrium.
At AMS, students are currently taking the SBAC testing. It's a standardized test, and it's from 17th to the 19th. Ocean View, there's going to be school tours on April 30th and May 28th. For Cornell, there's going to be a PTA movie night at 6 p.m. at the NPR. If you want to watch the Lorax, come. And for Marin, the AUSD Spring Choir Concert will be on April 20th from 10 a.m. to 12 p.m. at the high school's Little Theater. And there will also be the Marin Moonlight Auction from 6 p.m. to 9 p.m.
We're also currently in the process of finding a replacement for our student board member, Yaneli, once she graduates. And we're working with Mr. McNally to find a time for an informational session that we can host for the interested students. And then we'll have an application and interview process.
That concludes your report. Thank you.
All right, and we will now do our superintendent and board member reports, which we moved from the end of the agenda to this point in the agenda.
And I'll do the superintendent report on behalf of Dr. Evans. Today we opened the annual funding priorities survey. This survey input from secondary students, staff, parents, and guardians is essential for helping the district fund different areas in a way that corresponds to our priorities of our local community. This input will be included in the new local control accountability plan and will be brought to the board in June. Please check your message and take 5 minutes to complete this survey so that we have your input. Your voice is important to the district. On a much sadder note, we will host a local memorial service for Superintendent Dr. Wells on May 10th from 4 p.m. to 7 p.m. in the Albany Middle School Gymnasium. This local memorial is specifically for members of Albany United Community, staff, students, and families that were touched by Dr. Wells in his professional capacity as our superintendent. This is a family event, so we welcome everyone to come and spend a moment reflecting on Dr. Wells' service to all of us in this school district. The secondary band and choir students will perform, and students' artwork and projects from all grade levels will be on display at this service. There will be remembrance books where you can write down your own experiences with Dr. Wells, a place to drop off cards for his family, and some open microphone time if you would like to speak. This is not a formal service, but a time to come together and celebrate the life of Dr. Wells and his legacy. And I'd like to thank the committee, including Vice President Hopwood and Trustee Boyd, who are organizing this event. Also, if you'd like to volunteer to help this memorial, there will be a Google form going out in next few days where you can sign up to help in a number of different ways. When this concludes my report.
Yep.
Okay, high school PTSA meeting was last night in person. Still accepting donations for the prom closet, which has been really well supplied. They did a prom closet kind of event today at lunchtime. There's another one on Thursday if anybody's kid is still looking for prom attire and accessories. And prom is going to be on the 27th of April at the Palace Hotel in San Francisco. This Saturday, there's the senior bonfire at Ocean Beach. Don't think we don't know about it, because we do. Don't anybody go to Ocean Beach on Saturday night. And then on 22nd of May, they are going to be doing for the first time a senior walk, which just sounds wonderful. So seniors in their graduation regalia will go back to their elementary school, or if they didn't come here, if they weren't at Albany for elementary, they can go to whichever one they want to, and just little kids can see you all in your attire. Staff appreciation on the 22nd of May as well, a charcuterie table. There'll be stuff sent out about how to contribute to that. The block party was postponed from the end of last month because of rain. Dates yet to be determined. And they're currently in the process of allocating some funds for things like student scholarships and teacher grants. And the next meeting will be on the 13th of May via Zoom. And also graduation will be the 5th of June, looking for volunteers. It's the day after school finishes this year for the first time. So would love to have some volunteers to help with things like setup and cleanup. And again, that will be sent out for people to sign up. And that's everything from me. Board Policy Committee actually tomorrow night. Student Achievement Committee postponed until next Thursday. Thank you.
I'll just say quickly for Albany Middle School that the spring soiree is happening on Thursday, and next Thursday is the open house. And also I know that there's a real big push to get community members who are able to volunteer both for the spring soiree as well as other events, and also working with the PTA, and just really in any way that folks are available and able to assist. I know that's not just at Albany Middle. I'm sure it's at all of our different school sites and various different organizations in the district. If you have contacts with people who can help with fundraising, if you have some time where you're free to kind of roll up your sleeves and help set up tables or canopies, if you have time to help organize, if you don't have time to do the shopping for various events, but you can kind of send some money to the way of people who are doing that shopping, any way that you can help out, it takes a village, and people really appreciate it.
Bear with me, I have a lot. I'll start off with Familias Latinas de Albany. Their scholarship just opened up, and so they've got two different types of scholarships, one for graduating seniors, and then a separate one for just kind of anything academic related. So this could be anywhere from if your student needs support with like purchasing stuff for their sports club, like cleats or what have you. So if you need any support with that, please check out the scholarship. Secondly, we have Teacher Appreciation Week starting May 6th at Ocean View, with the potluck for Teacher Appreciation Lunch being on Wednesday, May 8th. The Sign Up Genius has already gone out, so please sign up if you'd like to bring anything. Open House will be May 9th for Ocean View, and then we also have a talent show on May 17th, and then we have Field Day on May 22nd, and then Ocean View also has a memory book. The pre-sale is already live. They're currently $20, and they will eventually bump the price when the sales are in person, so please get a copy now. And then we also had the Special Education Committee meeting. We've got a lot, Dr. Biggs has got a lot planned for you guys for next year, including preparing for a book club around, am I allowed to announce the book or no? Okay, the book is called I'm Just a Kid with an IEP. It's a wonderful book that our committee will be reading over the summer in preparation for the book club. So yeah, thank you, Dr. Biggs.
All right, so Cornell just finished their Coyote Fun Fitness Week and had a little celebration this past weekend. They have the PTA's hosted movie night this Friday night, and a family math night is coming up on April 25th. As always, the first Saturdays are PTA Garden Days. And Teacher Appreciation is May 6th through 10th, so the signups are out at that site as well. There we go. I am sad to say I missed our Wellness Committee meeting today, so I do not have an update on that. Okay, but that committee continues to do great work.
I mean, I can share that what we're working on. So earlier in the year, we distributed resources to talk with your young people about race. The resources that we're working on putting together now are around allyship. And so we have selected short videos again that we will be distributing, broken down by grade level with some questions and talking points. And it is a really quick thing that you can do, and it's really eye-opening and mind-opening and a great way to connect around issues that can be difficult for some to talk about, and we make it as easy as possible for you to do that. So be on the lookout probably in the next couple of months, I would think.
And then finally, Cornell's playground opened. It is so exciting. The whirligig is getting my own 7-year-old to go to school many days because he's so excited to go on the whirligig, and he's taken up handball all of a sudden. So I know that we have a lot of very thrilled kiddos who exercised extreme patience, as all of our sites did over the past few years, and we're just really thrilled to have that part kind of settled and looking forward to the next steps of upgrades at that site. And then on another note, we just wanted to make an announcement. So Albany Unified School District has made the decision to have a uniform schedule for 1st through 5th grade next year. So beginning in the fall 2024, one schedule for 1st through 5th grade. This won't come before the board. This decision has been made. And then also, just a reminder that the statutory deadline for personnel reductions as it relates to our general fund passed on March 15th. So we cannot make any other personnel reductions or changes to that now that the March deadline has passed. That is my board report for this evening. And we will now move on to public comments on matters not on the agenda.
Hi, everyone. How's it going? And you guys look great. Everyone came out in red. Yeah. And maybe a couple other people are speaking. I'm not sure, but I hope if anyone else wants to speak, that you guys feel free to come up and speak your piece. So deadlines being as, what they are, we have some things to say. So I think I've said a little bit of this before, but it was really hard for us and for all of our members who worked so hard to pass Measure G to see that passed and then to see these cuts happen. And I am talking about the over $1 million in cuts that were approved at the March 7th board meeting. We understand the state budget is tight. Get it? It's tight. It's, is what it is. But we don't understand why we can't keep these cuts farther away from our valuable frontline support workers and teachers who this is affecting. We see cuts to our janitorial staff. We see cuts to our clerical staff. We see cuts to our technology staff, and of course to our ACC teachers as well. We don't see any cuts at the district office, and we wonder why not. No one wants to see a budget shortfall. No one chose for this to happen. But it's up to us to respond in a creative way that least affects our students. So I say let's keep cuts away from the classroom. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Miriam, and I teach world history in 10th grade at Albany High. And I served on the school board from 2002 to 2010, so it's like a really long time ago. Actually, even before Ron Rosenbaum was even employed here, so really old. I realized from the school board point of view that sometimes, because you're interacting primarily with the district office, it's easy to be convinced of their essential services. And so I just want to let you know what it looks like from the other side. I have not seen any district office staff performing work other than standing around watching in the entire school year, except for one 45-minute presentation of some old slides about how to do testing. So you have a director of curriculum and instruction, you have people who are in charge of testing, you have people who are in charge of professional development. What you need to know is that they don't do professional development. Yeah, so all the professional development we've had this year, and luckily this year wasn't a year where they just told us they didn't have anything planned, but all of that happens because site level staff send out emails, organize surveys, et cetera. All of the presentations were either made by people who were paid specifically to be there from outside the district or by people from inside the district. The testing work gets done and managed at a site level. Curriculum is done by teachers. So what will actually be true is that you could reduce a number of positions at the district office, and the actual day-to-day effect on students would be next to zero. That's just true. So another little just tiny piece about the school board thing is that when I started on the school board in 2002, this was our district staff. We had a superintendent, we had a director of finance.
I'm sorry.
Yep.
We're at time.
We had a director of finance, and everybody else was a clerical position. That was possible with the same number of students and the same number of sites. So how far back could you go before you even got to that?
Hi there. I'm coming up to discuss a number of things. One thing, I want to speak in solidarity with our custodial staff because I know there's been cuts to our custodial staff. Now, I talk to the custodians that I run into. I inquire about their days. I also know that many of them are frequently working overtime and are already operating on a skeleton crew. They're serving a service that is essential for our schools. If you've been around any of the schools recently, you've known that keeping the schools clean is a massive issue. I believe that there are rats and mice currently at the high school. And our custodial staff, we had someone who I suppose essentially received a demotion. These are also some of the people who are compensated the least in our district. Now, I understand that institutions have their own kind of logic, like if you're in charge of the hiring and laying off of people, perhaps the people you work with every day, their jobs seem very important to you, and so they don't get chosen as the people that you lay off. But right now, we're all being asked to make sacrifices, all being asked to take on more work, but I've noticed that the brunt of those sacrifices falls on the lowest compensated people in the district. The highest compensated people in the district are not being asked to make these same sacrifices. Yeah. I also, just in light of the declaration that May is Mental Health Awareness Month, I also would draw the attention to some of the services that have been cut at my site. I know that the person who operated our student success space, S3, was cut. She was doing a wonderful job. We have also had some of our mental health interns cut, and they were working at full capacity this year with students who are going through very severe mental health issues. So I want to draw attention to that. I also can't leave here without also shouting out our really wonderful office staff, some of whom have lost their jobs despite bringing something so fantastic to our site. So yeah, that's what I want to say.
My name's Christine Forrestrader. I teach second grade at Cornell. I've taught there for over 20 years, and I had no plan of coming up here and speaking tonight. What I just heard with a big smile broke my heart. We've had no input in any decision that was made by the board that I feel. I'm shocked, and I've never felt so unsupported in all of my 20 years. These are huge decisions, and not saying that we weren't going to work together through them, but to be completely shut down and here tonight, all budget decisions have been made and all schedules for next year have been made, is shocking. I don't even know where to go with it. I'm angry, I'm saddened, and where's retirement? If you want people to leave, that's what we're feeling. So, sorry.
Hi, my name is Beth Dunn. I also teach second grade, but at Ocean View. I know President Davidson, you were once a teacher yourself. Yeah, still. Oh, okay, great. Great. Okay. Okay, well, then I hope you have a little empathy for what we're going through. Oh, okay. Okay, it didn't really come across that way. I'm also a member of the negotiating team. And I know Dr. Shin was there, I know Marina was there, I know Dr. Biggs was there, I know also Deborah Brill was there when Dr. Wells told all of us that if any changes were going to be made to the early bird, late bird schedule, he would discuss it with teachers first. So I'm not sure when you're telling us now that this is a decision that's final, who made that decision and why they've decided to wait and tell us now like this without coming to the teachers as he promised us. And I would hope that someone would have the courtesy and respect to tell us who and how this all came about, please. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Julie Busgang, and I am a reading intervention teacher at Marin School. And I want to say first that I second the comments that were made about cuts needing to happen farthest away from the children possible, and recognizing that the district office staff is now larger than it has been at many points in my history here. And so at a time when we're making cuts, it seems really shocking that that is not a place that's being looked at. And I also, when looking at the change to the schedule, want to make sure that you understand who is being impacted by that. Because we've been talking a lot about which students historically have not been served well by our district. And those students in intervention in those early grades, the early bird, late bird schedule has given them the opportunity to have extra services without missing anything from their class time. And those kids get a double dose, and they're the ones who are benefiting really significantly from that program right now. That's when a lot of EL support happens, when reading intervention support happens, when math intervention support happens, all trying to build it into the early grades and in ways that mean kids do not get pulled out of class or miss out on other things to get the supports that they need, so that students don't need those supports as much in the later grades. And they're going to be really, really impacted, and I feel so sad for them.
Okay, seeing no other public comment in the room, we have a couple of virtual, okay. Is anyone else planning to speak in here, just so I can gauge and get to our virtual comments as well? Okay,
Thank you. Good evening. My name is Linda Kaiser, and I've been a teacher in Albany for 20 years. Thank you to my colleagues who've spoken here tonight about the extensive cuts to site personnel. These cuts represent not just positions, but people. The elimination, for example, of one clerk at AMS is a loss to each and every staff member and student at the middle school. Looking at his many duties, there are too many for me to mention in my short time tonight. Keeping discipline records, maintaining student medication logs, the list goes on. But I will add that this clerk, he rules as our Chromebook czar. He devised and implemented a tracking system for student Chromebooks that works as well as anything could. He is solving problems all day long. It is unimaginable how these tasks and functions will be redistributed among smaller clerical staff. The main office at AMS has been a smooth running machine for the past few years, and it's not only because we have enough people, we have the right people. Disturbing and reshuffling support staff against their will disturbs and stresses the entire school and the community. Our beloved clerk, too, is not only a crucial team member, he's also a purposeful model for our students. Here is some of what he told me about his other work. During my time at AMS, I was able to be a part of the Latinx Alliance Club. This club is a home for our community members that identify as Latinx. I work alongside our club advisor. We collaborate to make our club meetings effective and fun, but overall a place where they feel that they can state their voice. Also, just alone, I am working with students to help build bridges that help students be more successful here at our school. I urge the district administration to preserve school support staff rather than cutting a hole in our community. Keep personnel cuts as far away from the classroom as possible. Thank you.
Three virtual public speakers, so we'll take our first one now.
Hey, can you guys hear me? Hi, my name is Patty, and I'm a 4th grade teacher at Cornell. Shout out to our new structure. But I really wanted to echo a lot of the sentiments of my colleagues, which is that when it comes to impacting students, I feel like our clerical staff, especially at the elementary level, wears so many hats, and they know all of the students, and they are such a huge part of the support network for our students that when I think about them getting cut or having their positions eliminated because of budget shortfalls, it feels like it's a disservice to our students. Our clerical staff are our first aid team. They help on our safety team. They help kids call their families when their families forget that it's Wednesday schedule. They organize our field trips, bless them. We've been doing some amazing field trips as usual. And they're just really the beating heart of our school. And so I just wanted to come here and kind of put that out there that we value these positions and these people. Thank you.
All right, next speaker, please.
Hello, can you hear me? Yeah, okay. My name is Emily Webb, and I'm a mental health intern at Ocean View Elementary. And I'm reading portions of a letter drafted by 10 staff members and mental health counselors working at Albany Elementary, Middle, and High Schools. We're writing to you today to advocate for the preservation of funding for school counseling services within our district. As mental health counselors, we work directly with students who have witnessed firsthand the invaluable impact these services have on the well-being and academic success of our students. We urge you to continue to fund, develop, and expand the mental health program. Just this year, our program directly helps students dealing with loss and grief, economic instability, and community violence. Unfortunately, the budget cuts to school counseling services will severely undermine our ability to meet the diverse needs of these students. It's crucial to recognize that mental health is not a luxury, but a fundamental aspect of a student's overall well-being. Many of the counseling staff are graduate students themselves, as I am, and we offer our experience and service at an incredibly low cost to the district. Most interns make a $6,000 a year stipend for 15 to 20 hours a week of work. We're able to do this because this district funds a supervisor. One supervisor can support 4 intern therapists who can in turn hold 40 counseling sessions in a week. So I just guarantee you will not find more affordable therapy in the Bay Area. We urge you to consider the long-term implications of these decisions, including the loss of training that you offer to future therapists. There's a huge shortage for therapists trained to work with kids. So I'll send the email to you along. It concludes the signatures of all those who've signed on. Thank you.
We have one final speaker this evening.
Hi there, can you hear me? My name is Sarah, and I'm a teacher at Marin. Yeah, okay. And I am just calling in tonight to echo many of the sentiments shared already by my colleagues and to illustrate a few additional points. So firstly, I agree with everyone's plea that the district office is another place where we need to look critically about whether or not all positions are extremely critical or whether we could absorb some of the work into some of the other positions. Just as teachers have been facing increased demands for their labor over the last several years since the pandemic, I'm sure that's true for our administrators. But nothing helps teachers feel more supported than knowing that their leaders are also working equally as hard. So I would urge you to look at whether or not cuts could be made at that level before taking away supports that are more student-facing. The second reason I wanted to speak tonight is regarding the disappointment that many of us at the elementary are facing in regards to this allegedly firm decision about the dissolvement or dissolution of the early bird, late bird literacy model, which we have been using for many, many years. I've been in the district for over a decade, and it's been a mainstay of our schedule ever since I joined and long before my time here. And this model has really proven so effective in so many ways that have already been spoken tonight. But what's most disappointing about the way that this rollout happened was that we heard about this decision from our union, not from the district leaders who had made this decision. Additionally, having served on the bargaining team previously under Dr. Wells's leadership, may his memory be a blessing to all those mourning his loss, he assured us that any decisions would be made collaboratively and with teacher input at the forefront. So I would just ask the board to provide direction to district leadership to ensure that employees have a right to be participating in the planning of the work that affects them.
Thank you.
Thank you. Good night.
Hi, I'm Carrie Dunnigan. I teach second grade at Marin School. And of course, none of this comes as a surprise. This has been an issue for at least the last 10, 15 years. So that's not a surprise. But 10 years ago, or gosh, maybe 15 years ago, when we really worked hard to keep staggered reading, the first, second, and third grade teachers also took on an extra 20 minutes a day because we thought it was that important to maintain this. So I just want to, at this point, also remind you that in the state of California, there is a 3,600 instructional minute differential between 4, 5, and first through third. And maybe we're misunderstanding, and when you say they're going to have a uniform schedule or a unified schedule, expecting a 6-year-old, a first grader, to have the same length of school day as a 5th grader is ludicrous. So I hope as our bargaining team goes to meet with our district leaders, that there's going to be acknowledgement that there's a reason that there's a differential in the instructional minutes and what children should be doing and understanding. And as somebody who's been in this district for over 20 years also, I'm terribly sad to see staggered reading go. It's the thread that, you know, binds all of the subjects. It's the ability to have that connection and to understand children when you have a smaller group. I'm not thinking you're going to change your mind, but I hope you are going to go into bargaining with an understanding that a uniform day makes no sense either. So, thanks.
Thank you all for coming and your public comments. And we are now going to move on to our approval of the consent calendar. So we'll take motion or questions on the consent calendar. All right. Any items?
I move to approve the consent calendar as is.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, the consent calendar passes unanimously, and we will now move on to our review and action items for the evening. Our first action item is the appointment of interim superintendent, Dr. Donald Evans, as the secretary of the board.
Like, we don't need comments, we can just make the motion.
I think we just need a motion on this.
I move to approve Dr. Evans as the secretary to the board.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All right, he is now the secretary of our board. Item 14B, our declaration of need for fully qualified educators.
Declaration of need is, we do this annually. It's something that we have to have on file with the Commissioner on Teacher Credentialing. It's basically if we need to apply for any emergency credentials in any of these subjects, we will have notified them that we might need to do that. And so this is just a formality, I guess. Something we have to do annually.
Any questions or a motion?
I move to approve the declaration of need for fully qualified educators.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay, our last one is, sorry, there's two more. The reduction of classified services.
Thank you. Again, this too is sort of an annual thing that we do because we do have positions in the district that are funded through what we call soft dollars. That means a group has donated funds, such as school care, to fund these positions. And since we don't yet know if they're going to be able to fund these positions again next year, then we reduce them, and then when they make a commitment, we bring them back.
All right, questions, motion?
I'll move to approve the resolution 2023-24-22 reduction of classified services.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, and we'll move on to item 14D, which is our Albany Unified School District Audit Report and Bond Measure B and E.
Okay, thank you, President Davidson. So this item is for the board to review and accept 22-23 district financial audit report. 2, Measure B, Bond Measure B report. 3, Bond Measure E, Financial and Performance Audit Report. 3, so we have 3 audit reports this evening. Heather Rubio from Christie White will present the audit reports and answer any questions, and she's on the Zoom. District received unmodified opinion for all the areas, which really means the clean opinion and the best opinion we can get.
Good evening. I can't turn my camera on. It has to be enabled by the host.
Heather, we cannot hear you. Let's see. Is your camera on as well?
Yes, I can't turn the camera on. Sorry. Sorry. Can you hear me now? Can you hear me now? Hold on.
So is your camera not working?
It won't allow me. Can you hear me?
We can hear you, we just can't see you.
Yeah, it says the host has to allow me.
Here we go.
Oh, there we go.
There you are.
Okay, perfect. Thank you. Good evening. I am Heather Rubio, and I'll be presenting the audit. I was going to do a high-level overview on the June 30, 2023 financial statements and the audit related to that. And then if you have any specific questions, I'd be really happy to answer that. So to just start off on the next slide, our audit gives an opinion on the unaudited actuals you saw in the fall. So those numbers you received, we will audit those. And we are happy to say that you received an unmodified opinion, which is the best opinion you can get. And that opinion gives reasonable assurance that the financial statements are materially correct. Our opinion does not necessarily address the financial condition of the district, but we do look out to 1 year to ensure that you can meet your reserves. And so we are looking to 1 year out. Okay, you can go to the next slide. Okay, and where we say our opinion is on page 1 of the audit report. And here we say again, we agree with all the numbers presented in the audit report, all the major funds and the remaining fund information as of June 30, 2023. And again, that's the best opinion possible. I did want to highlight one piece of the financial statements just because if you look at the long-term debt, you'll see that the long-term debt obligations did increase from June 30, 2022 to 23. There was an increase of 14.6 million. And seems like a large increase, and that increase is mainly due to the net pension liability. That is your state teacher retirement system and your public retirement systems, so your STRS and PERS liability. That increased at June 30, 2023 for all districts in that system. And your percentage of that was an increase of 16.9 million. This is just important to note. This is a liability that you really can't do anything about. So it's just whatever the state's actuarial says and what your percentage of that liability is has to be reported on your financial statements each year. And then I was going to go into a little bit of what we do to get those opinions. So on the financial statements, we are looking at your internal controls over the financial reporting process. That's over your cash. So for example, if your unaudited actuals say 10 million in cash, we verify the cash exists and that you're doing reconciliations every month and have approvals to make sure they're correct. And so we found no significant deficiencies, no material weaknesses, and no instances of non-compliance over your financial statement, your internal control over financial reporting. On the second slide, because you're a school district, you have to have other audits. One of those is the federal government. So the Office of Management and Budget requires that we audit your federal programs. This year, the largest program for you we selected was your special education cluster, and that's your special ed programs. This is largely an audit of your expenses, making sure they're allowable, coded correctly, and then any reporting related to that program. The Office of Management Budget basically puts out an audit guide and tells us exactly what we will look at, and a lot of pulling of support for salaries charged and items charged. I'm happy to report that you have an unmodified opinion, again, best opinion possible, no significant deficiencies or material weaknesses. And also, because you're a district, you have to have an audit based off the state audit guide. This one is one of the toughest areas to get a perfect score to say, to have no instances to be reported. That, for many reasons, and one I think we know most of is because a lot of these things are changing constantly and they're changing in real time. So an example is your Proposition 28 that you're probably receiving the funds now and you're having to meet compliance requirements that are literally being written right now in the audit guide. And so here's all the areas that get tested, and a lot of work goes into this. And this is one of those that reaches all departments in the districts, from down to the attendance clerks, all, at the school sites, to the facilities program, to cafeteria, and like I said, all different parts of the district. You received an unmodified opinion, no significant deficiencies, no material weaknesses. We did have one area that we had to report. Oh, I do have to back up. The state also doesn't have a materiality threshold, so anything we find, we have to report, even if it's $1, just to kind of give you the background. And you had one finding related to your unduplicated pupil counts. And that is your, we found here we are, 1 out of 247 students was not properly classified as an English language learner in CalPADS. And then we have to kind of take that sample and multiply it based on how the state requires we calculate it. Okay? And then there are also no prior year findings from 21-22 to report on. And then the reports for the bond. We audited bond measure B and E. And then you can go to the next slide. The Prop 39 requires, right, there's an annual financial and performance audit. We have to make sure your bond oversight committee is meeting and reviewing the expenses to the bond measures. And the audit is mainly focused on the financial amounts and making sure you meet the laws and regulations. And we conduct your audit with government auditing standards. A lot of the testing for the financial statements, again, is very similar to the district audit. We're verifying your balances, your cash, liabilities, any proceeds from the bonds, your bidding, public contract code, change orders, allowable change orders, percentages, any people charged to the program, you have to be careful with that. And then finally, the biggest piece of this is making sure each expenditure is allowable for those ballot measures. So a lot of testing here. For measure B, you had $638,000 in your ending fund balance. And then your net investment revenue, -$3,000, which is your interest. And then you spent $2.7 million on facilities and acquisition. And so for measure E, you had a fund balance a little bit larger, $2.3 million. Your net investment revenue, $7,000. And on that one, you spent $8 million in facilities and acquisition. And again, so just to kind of summarize our results, we reviewed internal controls, so how you're running your bond program, how you're making sure you're spending everything correctly. And I'm happy to report with no significant deficiencies. We tested 94%, so your business office pulled all that for us, of Measure B expenses and 79% of Measure E expenditures. We tested the allowability of personnel cost charge. We also want to know no personnel was charged to Measure B. And then there were no new contracts to test, but we did test any change orders for approvals. And they were all had the proper approvals and reviews, I think. And finally, our financial statement opinion unmodified again on that, same thing for performance. And we did not have any audit findings on the bond audits. Do you have any specific questions?
Any board questions? That looks pretty good to all of us. We appreciate the thoroughness and pulling all of those pieces so that we can make sure we're checking everything.
Yes, and your business office, we really want to thank them. As you can see, the number of items they had to pull to make this audit possible and the knowledge and time that went into the audit, we really appreciate it.
We appreciate it too. All right. there more? Is that the entire presentation? Okay, so we can take a motion to approve the audit.
I move to accept the 2022-2023 Albany Unified AUSD Audit Report and Bond Measure B&E Bond Financial and Performance Audit Reports.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay, that passes. Thank you for joining us and hanging with us this evening. We appreciate it. And
Thank
we
you.
will now move on to future agenda items. Okay, seeing none, we are adjourning our meeting this evening. Thank you all for coming.
There's,
What? Ayush, you have a future agenda item?
yeah.
We would like it.
For JSAC, we're looking for a time at one of the future meetings for the middle schoolers to come present their, what is it, their slides that what they've been working on this year.
Okay, I'm gonna put that real quick.
Probably just like a spotlight or something like that.
I think it's best if it's a report. The spotlights are supposed to be like 10 minutes and really quick. And I think we're kind of out of time on those on our upcoming months until school is out. So I think let's put it in as just a little report, a highlight. Okay, cool. I'm gonna just send it as an email to the two of you and us to make sure that we get it on the agenda. Okay, and then we'll adjourn the meeting. Thanks for coming.